Welcome to Grown Man Sessions, where we want to inspire, empower, and support men of all ages and backgrounds. We will interview men and discuss issues and topics that men face but don't talk about enough. I'm your host, Timothy Rhyme. On this episode, we will be talking with none other than Henny Holyfield. Henny is a dope rapper, a radio show host, and most importantly, a good dad. Coming up, Henny will be sharing with us his own experience of not having a father figure growing up, but now as a father, wanting to be the best father that he can possibly be. I'm going to ask him if we as men hold each other to a high enough standard when it comes to being fathers, and his answer may surprise you. Listen all the way to the end to hear what Henny would say to the kids who are currently growing up without dads in their lives. And remember, follow us on social media and subscribe to the Grown Man Sessions YouTube channel. What's up, everybody? Before we get started, all the dads out there watching, I want you to ask yourself a question, and I want you to answer it honestly, to yourself, of course. Just ask yourself, am I a good dad? Not am I a perfect dad, or not am I the best dad, although I'm sure your kids would probably say that you are both. I just want you to ask yourself that question, am I a good dad? I grew up without a dad, so I know that it's really important for fathers to be in their kids' lives. But I did a little research, and I was pretty surprised to learn how big the implication is for a kid to not have a dad in their lives. So what I learned is that statistically, a kid that doesn't have a dad in his life is at greater risk of poverty, more likely to have behavioral problems, more likely to suffer from abuse and neglect, more likely to abuse drugs and alcohol, more likely to go to jail, more likely to suffer obesity, and more likely to commit crime and drop out of high school. So just having a dad in a kid's life is really important. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And I'm lucky enough to be talking to a dope rapper, a dope radio host, and a dope dad. What's up, Henny?
What's going on, man? I appreciate that, man. Big love.
Oh, man. Yeah, for sure. Thank you for joining me today. Just learning about those statistics, man, I kind of knew, I feel like if I had a dad in my life that was consistent and kind of gave me that father figure experience, I feel like there's a lot of things that I would have avoided, most likely. I mean, I can't say for sure, of course, but just watching you on social media, man, and you talking about how well your son is doing in school, man. If I feel like that would have been me to a certain degree, man, because I always thought I was a smart kid, but
yeah,
I just didn't really have that guidance. I didn't have that male role model pushing me,
I agree, and you could say that you don't necessarily know whether it would hold true or not, but I feel like I'm like 99.9% sure that if I did have him around, like I would do a lot better. I was a bright kid, you know what I'm saying? But there was no real just push like to succeed, you know what I'm saying? And that's something that, I'd be on my son, but I'd be like, I wish somebody would have pushed me, you know what I'm saying? Like to succeed in it. It's tough love sometimes, but he appreciates it and he's excelling because
we talk about we know the importance of being good dads and and providing that that model, that role model, I guess, to your sons and to your daughters. Yeah. You talked about briefly about how you didn't really have that. How did it affect you, do you think?
I mean, it definitely installed in my head more than anything that I would never do that. Mm-hmm. Like I promised each of my babies that no matter what happens, I've had some rocky situations, definitely with my son's mom, but I made a promise, like you're not gonna have to go through that, So that's something that it installed in me, that I know that pain, how it feels, that emptiness, to not have a father figure around. So I never wanted to do that to my kids. And I haven't. I've kept that promise. I plan to continue to keep that promise. That's something more than anything, But yeah, things I missed out on doing, I get to do with my kids. Just break the cycle. That's all I want to do, and install that in them, and teach them the value of family, and hopefully it's something that they take in and carry into their adult life and realize how important it is to try to keep your family together and be not just a part of your kid's life, but just involved, and not just there, but we all kind of stuff together.
Do you think as men we hold each other to a high enough standard when it comes to, watching each other be dads?
No.
Me either.
No.
Why do you think that is, bro? I don't understand that. Like we kind of like put it all on the moms to say like, hey, well, you're not being a good mom, but it's like, I mean, the dad has a really important role too.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen recently like some posts that'll say, if you're not taking care of your kids, then we can't associate. You know what I'm saying? I've seen things like that, but I mean, that's not necessarily holding nobody accountable. To cut that person off and just not associate with them is not necessarily what they need.
They're just gonna find other people that think the same way.
Right. So as a friend or associate or family member or whatever relationship we have to that person we feel like is not living up to their full potential of being a dad, you should tell them, and
right.
in a way to where you're not getting on their case, but at the same time, that's something that you should want, and some people got to figure it out on their own, but the more people that they have in their ear pushing them in that direction, maybe it'll make a difference.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think, we should shame anybody, but I do think that like, man to man, you can say to somebody like, hey man, like I just noticed, you're not really, being involved in your youngster's life or whatever. Maybe, give them some statistics or something, or just give them just a little bit of insight on how it might be affecting the kid. Or
bring your kids around them. Go over and invite them to come hang with y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And watch that joy that you get from interacting and joy from the kid and how they feel, and let them be around that. I had a friend that his kids were across the country. Him and his wife fell out. He moved across the country, and I believe that it would make him uncomfortable to be around me and my son. And I didn't necessarily understand it at first, but it was just like, it had to be going through his head, like you're not even. I would ask him, like, when's the last time you talked to your kids? You know what I'm saying? I think that it bothered him, consciously.
Right.
So I mean, I guess it's a good thing, to feel that way, and I do believe he reconnected with his kids later on down the road. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I say, like, get people to come out and hang or whatever, you know what I'm saying, or go pull up on them, which kids with you, and let them see that interaction, and maybe it is something to sink in, and they'll feel like they're missing out on something.
Right. That's why I say, man, I don't judge anybody because I don't know anybody's situation. Because I have seen, firsthand, and I've heard stories of the moms that make it really hard for the dad.
Yeah, and to an extent, I understand.
Right.
I mean, I understand because I was that dad, and I had to go through hoops of fire to get custody of my son. The shoes were reversed at first. Going to the payphone to call and try to go see him and being shut down. You know what I'm saying? Just because the control was in our hands. So it made it very hard, and I was discouraged, and sometimes just was like, man, is it really worth this? But hell yeah, it's worth it. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
Like, when you gotta go, if that is the case, and you gotta sit and have that face-to-face conversation with your child later on in life, and they ask you, what happened? Why is it that you want to part? And you hopefully are going to be real with them. You know what I'm saying? What are you going to say? You got to say, hey, I tried it, didn't work, so I gave up. That's something you got to live with. You know what I'm saying? It's children that we create, that are our future, that carry on our legacy. Like, what they should be worth all of that. You know what I'm saying?
All of it.
And it's it's a hard situation to go through, but I wouldn't feel right if I didn't do everything I could to make sure that I was in my children's life.
So, like I said, man, like this is not a judging thing at all. Like this is more just like us talking about it so that we could be better. Everybody, me, you, anybody that's listening. So yeah, I just don't want anybody out there to think that like, oh, Henny and Tim are just talking about it because, they think that they're better dads. Like, nah, man. Like, and I get that vibe from people sometimes, and I don't like it, man. Like, I just want people to know, like, for real, like, I don't think that I'm a better dad than anybody else. You know what I mean? The only person that could tell you that is my kids. You know what I mean? Like if they vouch for it, cool. If not, then like I'm just here to just try to help and just try to like, you know, help with, you know, what the kids need, man. Like that's my main concern is like the next generation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I'll tell you. I mean, I'm flawed. You know what I'm saying?
Same here.
Communication. You know how I handle certain situations. You know, you don't get a manual on how to properly parent your children. You know what I'm saying? Like it's trial and error. You got to learn as you go, and you're gonna make mistakes. And as long as you can realize those mistakes and try to move forward and correct them, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, just do the best you can. But yeah, I mess up, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I ain't gonna sit on here and act like I'm no perfect dad or that I'm no better than any dad or you know, nothing like that, man. We, you know, it's a work in progress. You know, you just gotta do the best you can.
That's why, you know, at the beginning I said I want everybody to ask themselves like if they're a good dad. You know what I mean? Because I don't ever think that there's any perfect dads or, you know, best dads in the world type thing aside from the eyes of the kids. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just like you said, man, we're all a work in progress, man. And I just want to be able to, you know, help other dads that might be going through the same thing. Like, man, this is hard, man. Like, or even like a young dad, man, that is just starting and is like scared shitless. It doesn't know, you know, if he's going to be able to be a dad, you know, because he didn't have a dad. I'll tell you like this, man, when I had my first kid, like I didn't realize like all the things that I was doing. Like I was still messing around a little bit when I had my daughter, and I started like figuring things out, but I still wasn't at where I'm at right now.
Yeah, no, I was terrified.
Me
I was
too.
Terrified because it was, my situation was like, you know, it happened. Like it got together and it just happened. It was just like neither one of us could see it coming, and that's, I mean, that's a reality check for you, you know? Like,
right.
You know, especially if you have the beliefs of we gonna keep this baby, you know, then you gotta kind of, you know, mentally prepare yourself of raising somebody. You know what I'm saying, raising another human being.
So if I mean, I've asked this of myself, and I know what I would say, but what would you do over? Like, if you had to do that part over again, like, would you do anything different?
Yeah, I would have embraced it more.
Me too.
That first initial thing, I was scared. I probably was not the easiest person to deal with, just because
same here.
You know, all the feelings were all over the place and freaking out, and then you feel like, you know, you're not in the best state in your life, whether it be financially or mentally or whatever it is. You know, you just feel like you owe this child that's bringing into the world the best of everything. If you don't have everything in place the way you want it to be, then yeah, it's terrifying. You know what I'm saying? So I would go back and I would breathe, and I would just say, you know, this is what it is. Let's get ready for it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of freaking out.
Yeah, one thing at a time. I think the thing that I would have done different is I would have asked for more help. I think I was just in my own zone, man. Like I was so determined to just do everything independently. I think that's part of like growing up without a dad, man. Like there were so many things I had to learn on my own.
Yeah.
That I kind of thought that that's the way it was supposed to be.
Yeah. I mean, my relationship was rocky, so that contributed to it, like, leading into the time of pregnancy. And so obviously that's going through my mind. Like, goodness, we can't get along. How we gonna do this? You know what I'm saying? That contributed to my, you know, paranoia of being a parent.
Right.
Everybody's gonna get scared, you know, both sides, you know, man and the woman. Like it's a first time thing. It's a lot of responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Your life ain't your life anymore. Your time goes like this baby. So much of our time. We can't move just cause, like we want to, just because, you know, she's at the top of the priority list. We have to schedule things around the way that she naps and sleep patterns and things like that. So, you know, it's scary, man. Like, really scary. But, you know, the best you can, you have to try to suppress those feelings. Think about the love that child is going to get. You know what I'm saying? Think about, raising them to be successful, adults and doing something, like being a part of something. There's so many joys and beauties to being a parent, man. And a lot of times those get overshadowed by the fears. So you just got to think about those and I think it'll make you feel better. You know what I'm saying? I wish somebody would have put me to the side.
Yeah, me too, man. If somebody would have told me what you just said when I was younger and I was having my daughter, man, I think I probably would have felt a lot better about the situation. So I can see the value in that.
Yeah, I definitely would have. I would have. It would have brought me down. You know what I'm saying? I was, it was a lot. And so somebody would just be like, "Hey, man, relax." You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be okay. Any advice, man, for your child? Just embrace it.
Yeah, I think one of the other things that I would have said is that your life is not over.
Right.
Your life is going to change,
right.
And you're gonna learn how to do things, and you're gonna become a different person. But your life is not over, because I think a lot of the messages that young guys and probably young girls too hear when they're young and they try to keep them from like having sex is, well, if you have a baby, your life is over.
Right.
And I mean, I understand the sentiment. I understand that, it's the parent in the older generation, like saying like it's a big responsibility. But I've also seen young parents accomplish a lot.
Right.
Just learning how to adapt to that responsibility.
Right. Because, I mean, you've got people that have, dreams that they want to do, and they got to go through so much school to do it and work this job from this hour to this hour. And, once that baby comes into the picture, like, you got to work around that schedule. That doesn't mean that you can't continue to pursue your dream. Maybe you can't pursue it right away. Maybe you have to find another route. I mean, there's all kind of online courses now, you know what I'm saying, where you got to physically go in. But just to put your mindset into, okay, no, I'm not able to do this the way I envisioned that I was going to do it. Life is different now, but how bad do you want that? You know what I'm saying? If you want it bad enough, then still go ahead and pursue that. Just in coordination with your child's schedule.
Just sacrifices, man.
Yeah.
Just sacrifice. If you got to sacrifice some sleep, if you got to sacrifice going to a party,
you're going to sacrifice a whole lot of sleep.
If you get anything out of this whole thing, that's the truth.
Yeah. But nap when they nap.
Yeah.
That's one of them key points right there. You can,
It's a life hack right there, bro.
Yeah.
Don't use that nap time to be on your phone.
Nah. Or I mean, if not nap, then something that you were trying to accomplish that you couldn't accomplish when the baby was awake. My baby gets real clingy sometimes, and like I'm stuck right here on the couch, and we got like baby gates that separate the dining room area. If I walk through that gate, she's flipping. If she's in one of them moves, that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? So I either got to pick her up and carry her around to try to do whatever it is I'm trying to do in there. I got to sit here. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes when it's nap time, okay, you take that nap. Now I can go and clean the kitchen and, take something out for dinner and whatever else I had to do that I couldn't accomplish while she was awake.
Nah, man, I'm gonna stick to the nap with the nap advocacy.
Hey, no, that's I never knew that a nap could be so nice, man. You're grown, man. You're a kid. You think you're gonna miss something. You're grown, man. That's life.
Oh man, that repower, man, that recharge.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful thing.
Yes, sir.
So let me shift gears a little bit, man. I like where this is going, and I don't mean to take anybody down like a negative path, man. But what would you tell to any of the kids out there that are growing up without a dad? Like, they're trying to figure things out, but they don't have that father figure, man. Like, what kind of advice would you give them to try to not make certain mistakes or feel like, they're not gonna be able to do what they want to do because they don't have a dad?
Right. Well, I think the first thing that kids need to realize is that it's not their fault.
Amen, man.
Kids hold on to a lot, and they feel guilty, especially if it was like a fallout between between the parents and there was arguing. They might have happened to be around and they just feel, even if they weren't responsible, they're responsible for it somehow. They hold that, and that's something that goes along with the pain and the emptiness of not having the parent around. They feel guilty. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, unless it's like some crazy situation where the child is just, causing the ruckus. But I mean, even that is rooted from that issue in itself. You know what I'm saying? So they still shouldn't
like a cry for help.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's first and foremost, man. You can't make two people stay together, and a lot of times, two people choose to stay together for the sake of their family, even though things aren't working. But no matter how hard you try, no matter how hard you hope and wish and want that to happen, sometimes it's better that way. You know what I'm saying? And that is for, the mental state of that child sometimes. Because if y'all not getting along, then that's not healthy to raise your child in that type of environment.
Yeah.
So I think a child needs to definitely take that into consideration. And then, you don't always need, there may not always be a male figure that you can look up to. There are women, you shouldn't feel like you should, like that's mandatory to have. I had a lot of, stepfathers, and none of them really gave me that type of feeling. You know what I'm saying? I didn't look at them as a father figure. It was just more like a situation where they was my mom's boyfriend, and that was them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On my face, but there was no guidance. There was no encouragement, motivation there. You know what I'm saying? But there were women in my life that was look for motivation. So
right.
You're not always gonna find that positive male role model. Maybe until later on in life. So it doesn't matter. You just should try to find somebody to look to for encouragement and motivation.
Yeah, I think when I was going through my issues when I was a young man in my adolescence, and I wanted that fatherly advice, and I would go outside in my neighborhood and I would see the dudes that were out there selling drugs or just up to no good, man, and those are the guys that actually took the time and would talk to me about things, and I would trip out because they would say things that, even to this day, I probably would never listen to, but, they just took the time. And then my mom, she would get mad because she would say, man, why are you hanging around those guys? And she never understood. Well, it's because, regardless if they're telling me the best thing in the world, they're actually trying, more than what I was seeing anywhere else, I'm very, very grateful for you having this conversation with me, man. I couldn't have thought of anybody better to talk about this stuff with, because like I said, man, I see you post about your kids, and like I said, I know nobody's a perfect dad, but just the fact that this is the kind of love that you're giving and you're trying to project, man, is really valuable, and I appreciate it, bro. Before we go, man, I wanted to tap in with you on the musical side. Give us a heads up on what's going on. What do we look forward to? I know you did the song with Mr. Fab, and that was a banger, and we was all vibing out to it. So what's on the agenda, bro?
I was actually invited to hang out with somebody I consider a legend, man. Devin and Dude came to mind. We did a record together. We was invited to go hang out with him last night, like homies. We was sitting and just chilling and talking, and it was beautiful, man. You know what I'm saying? So
congrats, bro.
Thank you, man. So that single will be dropping as well as a visual for that. You know what I'm saying? So be on the lookout for that. And then I've got some other stuff in the works too, man. It's pay attention, man, and follow me at Henny Holyfield on all platforms, and I will definitely keep y'all updated on everything I got going on.
All right, that's where they can get in contact with you?
Yes, sir. Henny Holyfield on any, all the digital platforms, all the social media, and hennyholyfield@gmail.com.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys got something out of this episode with Henny Holyfield. Hit him up if you want to listen to some of his music. Tap into his platform because he's always featuring new dope artists, and he's got a really dope message in general. So make sure that you tap into his whole platform and try to reach out and network with him because he's going places. Other than that,
if you need an ear, like we were just saying, You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a busy man, but if you need advice or you just need somebody to listen to, man, I'm here.
See, that's what I'm talking about, man. That's what we do on Grown Man Sessions. We here for everybody, man. We're not here just to talk amongst each other. We here trying to help, man. This is real life stuff happening right now. So if you want to reach out to Henny, hit him up. I guarantee he's not just saying that just for this show.
Nah, not at all.
Right on, man. So I always end the show by saying one person can change the world, but it's one person at a time, and that one person is you. Until next time, thank you guys for tuning in. Much love. Peace out.